Mhm. Mhm. Yes, 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 Lord. Hello, how you doing? God is good. Thank you for liking. How was your day today? Hello, everyone. How was your day today? Yep, my day was good, y'all. Hello, hello. That's good. That's a blessing. But yeah, I was just sitting here thinking that, you know, God don't want us to forget him, after he elevates us. And y'all, that's a good one. We can't never forget him, when he decide to take us to the next level when it comes to life. It can be your health, your finances, in other areas, in relationships. He don't never want us to forget him when we elevate in certain areas of our life. And y'all, that's what I made up in my mind. I'm like, I'm not going to forget about God every time he elevates me. No, because I look at it like at the end of the day, I can't do that. Not to God. Because whatever he blesses with, he can take it right away from us. Yeah, he can take it right away from us. That's why we can never forget about him. You know, I look at it like this, that I know that I have to thank him through the good and the bad. And that's a fact. No matter how bad a certain situation may seem, we got to still give him the praises. You still got to trust that he will get us through. And y'all, I notice when I show gratitude and I wait patiently, God come through. God comes through, y'all. And it goes smooth. Yeah. And I just thank God. He loves when we thank Him. He loves when we show gratitude. Yep. And I realize that I have to take care of the things that I do have. Because I look at it like, why I want more and we can't take care of the smaller things, or we can't thank God for the smaller things. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, y'all. God is a good God, y'all. And that's another thing about God. He'll never forget about us. No, He won't. You know how certain people in the world forget about us. God won't. God won't. I know it's been a time where some of you may have always looked at a person as your close friend, but sometimes they don't even remember your birthday. I'm from California. That's where I stay at now is California. I stayed out here in California all my life. But yeah, y'all. You know, people will forget you, forget your birthday, forget that you even exist. But God will never do that. And then the thing is, here, we live in a world where people make you pay when it comes to classes, online classes, you know. But one thing about God, too, is we don't have to pay to check in with God. We don't have to pay for grace and mercy. We don't have to pay for wisdom. All we have to do is pray about it. We don't have to pay. Yeah, y'all, that's what I love about God. We don't have to pay. All we got to do is trust in Him, come to Him with prayer and having faith in every circumstance that we go through. You know, it's something that we all struggle. You know, the areas that I struggle with, you know, it can be certain things that I struggle with on an everyday basis. But I always know in my mind, in my heart, that I have to give it all to God and ask Him for strength, you know, and you know, hope that I get better. And ask Him to make me better mentally and spiritually. Yeah, y'all, I want to be better mentally and spiritually. I don't know about y'all, but I do. I give all of God the credit for how far I have came. I give God all the credit for my strength. I give God all the credit for that, y'all. Every good goes on in my life got every bit to do with God. And that's a fact. And y'all, I just thank Him. You know, I thank Him for having a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on my table, and having all my basic needs, you know, and having my family. I thank God for all that, y'all. Yeah, God didn't bring us here for no reason. It's an assignment He has for each and every one of us. You know, He already got our story written, y'all. Yep. He already have our story written in the book of Lamb. Yes, He do. So yeah, y'all. I'm not going to celebrate when I get to the finish line. I'm going to celebrate all along the way, and I'm going to continue to celebrate all along the way. You know, that's what God wants us to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Because time is precious, you know. Time is precious. In time, my pastor was talking about time before a long time ago. Time is something that we could never buy back. So I pray God that I put my time and my energy to good use. That's what I pray for too. That I put my time and my energy to good use. Then one of the best times to make time for is God. As long as we got breath in our body, we can make time for God. As long as I got breath in my body, I'm going to continue to make time for God. Yes, I am. And then that's another thing that no one can stop us from making time for God. And we at the time where we have to make time for God at all times. Yep, we do. You know, we gotta even make time for God before we make time for ourselves. We gotta get out the bed, get on our hands and knees, and say a prayer before we enter out the room, before we go get us a drink of water, take a shower, go make some breakfast. So, yeah, that's what I feel to realize as I got older, that before you enter out your room, take time to get on your hands and knees and pray. That's important too. Yes, it is. Because at the end of the day, prayer is power. Prayer is power. We need prayer at all times. We even need prayer before we leave out our door. Because y'all, today, it was good. Me and my mom said a prayer because the car wasn't even paying attention. Well, some of these cars drive reckless. Car almost hit us. But God kept that from happening. God kept that car from wrecking us. Because y'all know some of these people just be sitting here driving any old kind of way. Don't be caring. That's why prayer is also important. Because we don't know who the heck we going to be dealing with on the road. No, we don't. We don't know who we going to be dealing with on the road. But I'm going to get off this live. You have a blessed night. And I'm going to be back on here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.